There are moments when the universe seems to hold its breath, when the background hum of existence trembles for just a second, as if waiting to see whether we are ready to listen. Humanity has always searched the sky for meaning, for beauty, for order, for proof that we are not alone. But the cosmos rarely answers with comfort. Sometimes, what it gives us instead is awe mixed with fear, a reminder that we are a fragile spark, flickering at the edge of an infinite storm. The story began quietly on the night of May 12, 2027, at the Vera Rubin Observatory in the Atacama Desert. Astronomers conducting routine sky surveys noticed a dim, slow-moving point cutting across the southern hemisphere. Its motion didn't match any known asteroid, comet, or satellite. At first it was dismissed as a data artifact, a cosmic ray glitch in the CCD sensors. But when the object reappeared the next night, exactly where it shouldn't have been, the anomaly became a discovery. They named it Nereus 9. Nereus 9 was unlike anything ever observed. Its orbit wasn't an ellipse like planets or comets, it was a straight line, slicing through the solar system with surgical precision. The speed was constant, unwavering, immune to gravitational perturbations that should have altered its course. Initial calculations showed it originated from interstellar space, traveling from the direction of the Carina-Sagittarius arm of the Milky Way, a region dense with dead stars and black nebulae. It was not drifting, it was navigating. Within a week, telescopes from Chile to Hawaii turned their eyes to it. The James Webb Space Telescope locked on, its instruments capturing the first high-resolution image. What it saw silenced the control room. The object was enormous, about 16 kilometers across, shaped like an elongated ellipsoid, perfectly symmetrical, with a surface that shimmered like dark metal. No tail, no coma, no dust emissions. Its albedo was unnaturally high, reflecting starlight in uniform patterns, as though polished. Spectrographic analysis revealed materials that should not exist naturally, exotic alloys of carbon and iridium, fused with isotopes never before recorded. The data suggested something terrifyingly simple. It was manufactured. As the world learned of Nereus 9, excitement turned to unease. News networks compared it to Oumuamua and Borisov, earlier interstellar visitors. But this was no passive wanderer. Its velocity, precisely 61.2 kilometers per second, was too deliberate. And then came the pulse. Radio telescopes began detecting a low-frequency signal emanating from the object. One pulse every 41 hours. At first, the pattern seemed random, but as data accumulated, the rhythm revealed a structure, mathematical sequences corresponding to prime numbers, followed by ratios of hydrogen and deuterium resonance frequencies. Whoever, or whatever, built Nereus 9 was using the universal language of physics. Governments reacted swiftly. The data stream from Webb was encrypted overnight. NASA, ESA, and the Chinese National Space Agency held emergency conferences behind closed doors. Independent researchers found themselves locked out of observatory feeds, yet information leaked. Amateur astronomers noticed something strange. As Nereus 9 drew closer, its trajectory was subtly changing, not due to gravity, but as if it were correcting its own course. It was steering. By late June, Nereus 9 had crossed Neptune's orbit. At that distance, it should have been faint and cold. Instead, infrared instruments detected regulated bursts of heat emanating from beneath its surface, rhythmic and controlled like a mechanical heartbeat. Even more unsettling, ground-based magnetometers recorded sympathetic fluctuations in Earth's geomagnetic field every time the object pulsed. The interval was always the same, 41 hours. The planet was responding. The implications were staggering. At the SETI Institute, Dr. Eleanor Madsen proposed that Nereus 9 was not merely broadcasting, it was synchronizing. She hypothesized that its emissions might be a form of quantum entanglement communication, linking itself to electromagnetic nodes throughout the solar system. In simpler terms, the object was using our planets as resonant amplifiers, as if testing their frequencies, tuning them. But to what end? On July 8th, an experiment changed everything. A coalition of scientists from the Green Bank Observatory transmitted a coded message back toward Nereus 9, a series of mathematical constants encoded in microwave frequency. For 31 hours, nothing happened. Then, as the 41st hour approached, the object replied. The return signal contained the same sequence but reordered, rearranged into a pattern that formed a geometric structure, 3 nested spirals. When decoded, the ratio between the spirals corresponded precisely to the Fibonacci constant. It was not an echo, it was an answer. Panic and fascination spread across the globe. Social media filled with theories, ancient probes, alien messengers, time capsules from extinct civilizations. Conspiracy forums claimed Nereus 9 was altering the Schumann resonance of the Earth. Governments denied everything. But as July turned to August, the evidence became impossible to dismiss. The object was accelerating. Telemetry showed it was adjusting its trajectory to intersect the ecliptic plane near Earth's orbit, its closest approach predicted for October 2, 2027. If it continued on its current path, it would pass within 0.12 astronomical units closer than Venus ever gets to us, and its behavior became even stranger. The Webb telescope recorded flashes, brief bursts of energy that formed complex wave interference patterns. When the data were rendered visually, they resembled symbols, repeating across the surface in grids of light. Scientists called them glyphs. Some appeared to change in direct response to signals Earth transmitted toward it. Then, in early September, the rhythm stopped. For the first time since its discovery, Nereus 9 fell silent. Radio telescopes registered no pulse, no heat, no reflection. It simply drifted, inert. The sudden silence triggered global anxiety. Had it powered down, or was it waiting? 2 weeks later, as it neared Mars's orbit, a pulse returned, but not from space. The source was the South Pacific Ocean. Naval sensors picked up ultra-low frequency emissions identical to Nereus 9's signal, originating from deep beneath the ocean floor near the Tonga Trench. The pulses resonated with the same 41-hour cadence, as though something within Earth was mirroring the object's transmission. And then, a new transmission emerged. For the first time, it contained a modulation in the audible spectrum, a sound. It lasted 19 seconds. Scientists who filtered and slowed it down claimed to hear a pattern, tones that rose and fell like syllables. When analyzed spectrographically, the waveform revealed a chilling message encoded in binary. Translated, it read, "Returning." After that, Nereus 9 began to alter its orientation. For the first time, it rotated slowly, deliberately, until one of its hemispheres faced directly toward Earth. From that moment onward, its albedo increased dramatically, reflecting sunlight with dazzling intensity. Amateur telescopes captured what looked like panels unfolding, spreading outward in symmetrical formation. The object was opening. Governments declared classified lockdowns. The United Nations convened under emergency session, citing non-terrestrial phenomena of potential impact. Reports surfaced of data blackouts in observatories worldwide, yet leaks continued. A researcher at the European Space Agency posted a single encrypted file before vanishing from social media. The file contained a spectral map of Nereus 9's inner emissions. Hidden within the data was a mathematical constant unique to Earth's atmosphere, composition, and magnetic resonance. It was as if the object had scanned our planet and recognized it. By late September, the debate shifted from what Nereus 9 was to why it was coming. Theories multiplied. Some believed it was a seed ship, designed to distribute biological material across habitable worlds. Others claimed it was an ancient observation probe left behind by civilizations long extinct. A few whispered of darker possibilities, that it was a harbinger, sent to measure planetary readiness before something greater arrived. On October 2nd, Nereus 9 reached its perihelion, the point closest to the Sunday every instrument on Earth was trained on it. For a brief 6 minutes, the object flared with blinding intensity, emitting radiation across the spectrum. Then, inexplicably, it vanished from optical and infrared sensors altogether. No explosion. No debris. Just emptiness. But the story didn't end there. Hours after the disappearance, seismic sensors across Antarctica recorded faint tremors, regular, rhythmic, precisely 41 hours apart. Deep ice radar detected metallic echoes beneath the continent's frozen crust, moving slowly eastward. When the data were cross-referenced with old satellite maps, an unnerving pattern emerged. The signal was traveling toward a region where, decades earlier, the Soviet Vostok drilling mission had reported unexplained electromagnetic anomalies. Whatever Nereus 9 was, it was no longer in space. The world's governments went silent. Satellite coverage over the region became restricted. Scientific access to Antarctica was suddenly paused for maintenance. Unverified reports from research stations spoke of auroras appearing in clear skies, of compasses spinning wildly, of low-frequency hums reverberating through the ice like a pulse. Weeks later, the James Webb recorded a final anomaly, a brief gamma burst emanating from the same coordinates beneath Antarctica. The pattern of the burst, when decoded, matched the Fibonacci glyphs once displayed on Nereus 9's surface. Then nothing. Now, scientists argue in whispers. Some believe the object disassembled itself, embedding components deep within Earth's crust. Others think it opened a passage, an interdimensional rift impossible for our physics to describe. And a few, those who stare longest at the data, believe Nereus 9 was never truly gone. That it was always meant to arrive here, in this exact age, when humanity finally had the technology to see it coming.